three of us are really going to go and do this thing. So like, thanks for the help this weekend. And that's like what we did.
Okay, so then you finish on Sunday, right?
Yeah.
So you finish on Sunday. What then happens on Monday? What happens that next week?
Well, the color of that weekend was that like we had some nice friends because we've been working in this space for a while, and so a lot of people heard about us that weekend actually. LeVar Burton, who was the Kunta Kinte in the Roots, and then he was the dude from Reading Rainbow, and then he was like the black dude in Star Trek with that
Jordy.
thing, right? Yeah, exactly. So LeVar's a friend of mine, and I've known LeVar for a while. I actually helped him start a company that he's running now.
It's like a family. It's like a parent or child or something. It's like an app or.
It's
in
he
that
licensed
space,
all
right?
the rights to Reading Rainbow,
Yeah.
like that he was on, and they're building an iPad app, and it's called RR Kids is the company. Anyway, so I just sent him a note. And I was like, hey, dude, I'm in LA. I'm working on this thing. It's pretty cool. He tweeted about it. He's got like 1.8 million Twitter followers, and then like a lot of people started signing up for a non-existent product. Yeah. And then I had about a couple weeks before when I was just going to hang out there, I'd sent Ashton Kutcher an email because we'd just kind of been emailing.
And he responded?
For a little while. Well, we knew each other,
sure.
And he's like into the startup. I know, right? Right?
Same.
Right. It's just what it is, right? Yeah. Like it's weird, but it sounds like name droppy. But it's like I invited him to Startup Weekend, and I was like, "Hey, dude, like you should come and check this out. Like it will blow your mind what people can do in 54 hours." And he emailed me on Saturday of Startup Weekend and was like, "Hey, dude, I'm going to come by and bring a couple friends if that's cool." And I was like,
"Who is it?" It's like.
It was
Who did he bring?
Demi Moore and Rimmer, her daughter, and then Anthony, who runs Catalyst, which is his company in LA. And so I was like, sweet, right? And like, so I knew this, but no one else at Startup Weekend knew. And I was thinking, like, this is gonna be so cool. Like, it's gonna be like a cool little gift to the Startup Weekend people. Like, they're gonna be all geeked. Ashton shows up and whatever. And it ended up being a gift to myself. I just didn't know it. And so we showed up. They spent all day, 6 hours on Sunday, just going from team to team, talking, giving feedback. And he's like he's a great investor and a really active investor. So it's not like he's new to the scene or whatever. And anyway, he ended up being a stand-in for a judge that I was not. And
he took your spot.
Yeah, and then so we had 5 judges that night. We pitched. We won at midnight that night. I had 3 proposals for term sheets in my inbox and a note from him that was like, "Hey, dude, if you're gonna really do this, I'd be interested."
Wow.
And then sent a couple notes. I mean, we closed our seed round 2 days later with like Naval and Ron Conway and Ashton and the Light Bank Groupon founders. Like all, I mean, it was a good group of people.
And so, just step back a little bit. So, when you say you know Ashton, because I know this is a question that a lot of people, as I talk to him about you coming here, they're like, well, how in the world does he know these celebrities?
It's so retarded. I know.
So, like, how do you know? I mean, did you and Ashton? I mean, what is that connection? Well, how do you know him?
That particular connection was introduction from a mutual friend. I remember the first email they sent. It was probably 2 years ago. It said, Kuchar plus Fishback plus Kaufman equals awesome. And it was just like, you guys need to meet each other because you're both doing cool stuff in the startup space. We were just helping AngelList get going to the Startup Weekend stuff. He'd done about 20 investments, a lot of them with Ron Conway, and was trying to figure out like what can he do to be helpful to the companies he's working on. And so we started talking totally in that context. But you know, I mean, in some ways, like that's why this company's been able to go so fast, right? Like we spent like 10 years, all of us,
cultivating relationships.
Like, I mean, I think about it as like we spent 10 years like depositing in the Karma Bank, never with an expectation of like withdrawing anything. But then when all of a sudden we decided we want to go do something crazy, like, I mean, literally, like Naval wrote me back when I told him I was leaving Kaufman and said, "Can I invest?" And I said, "I don't think I've told you what we're doing yet." And he was like, but like, if you were leaving, I know you love what you do. Like, I'm interested. And, you know, that doesn't happen overnight, right? Like, there's other ways to get those relationships. Like, YC is like amazing, right? Like, you can be 24 and go in there and meet all these people.
Right.
That wasn't. I mean, we're like older than those kids, and like.
Well, you're 26, right?
Right.
25.
33, and both of my co-founders, like one of them's 34 and one of them's 33, and like we you know, we had 10 years of relationships that ended up being like unbelievably helpful in getting this company off the ground.
Is that just a mentality that you guys have always had? That when you say like, you know, you're constantly banking, you know, doing things for other people. Yeah, like is that just naturally how you are, or is that just something you've made a point to do for a long time, or what?
No,
where does that stem from?
We are just nice people. I work with really, really nice people, and like everyone at Zaarly's like this now. Like we're almost 40 people.
Yeah,
and it's like really like the nicest group of human beings I've ever been around. It's like you could be locked in a small restaurant for 5 hours with any one of them and have like a really lovely experience. And like we hire for that, and like it just ended up being like an important part of our company.
Yeah.